Welcome to a brand new edition of Local Focus. I know we're in the middle of hoop season, but we did want to put a bow on the football season. Last week we had a chance to catch up with Cam Dyer, and today we catch up with state champion Jordan Hatch, the quarterback of the Cleveland Storm. How does that sound, man? State champ.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great right now. Still living in the moment, but
That's what you guys worked for all year, right?
oh yeah, that's what everyone works for. But yeah, we're excited.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because, that's what everyone works for. But
Yeah.
realistically, okay, there's probably 3 schools that actually have a chance, right?
Yeah,
so it's real at
that's true,
Cleveland,
that's
right?
true,
So, I mean, just talk about that. The expectations there, the tradition, the culture.
Yeah, we talk about it. I mean, state championships are an uncommon thing, so we don't want to get too comfortable because we've been showing up there. I think it's 7 years now. We've been in the state championship. So coach tells us, just keep working. Don't get too comfortable because it's a hard thing to do. It's very hard. It takes a lot of work.
No, it is. It is. And that's what makes that run there at Cleveland so remarkable, right? Like,
definitely.
Because everyone talks about those things at the beginning of the year, like, we want to lift the blue trophy. Mm-hmm. In reality, that's not going to happen for a lot of kids.
That's
and
true,
they know it going into the season. They know.
Definitely,
I mean, imagine if you would, let's just pick a school at random. Cibola. All right?
Yeah.
I mean, and this is not to disparage the Cougars in any way, but if you're a student athlete on that team, when two-a-days start, there's no way in your mind you're thinking like, oh, we're going to lift the trophy at the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I get that.
You're playing for something different there versus where you're at.
Yeah, we kind of feel like if we don't win the state championship, it's not a successful season. So, yeah, it's definitely a different culture. We have a winning culture at Cleveland.
And it really is like that because I remember Coach Ridenauer telling me on the golf course one time that, like, just when Cleveland loses a regular season game, it's like
definitely.
The sky is falling. What's going on? What's the matter?
Yeah.
It's different, isn't it?
It is for sure. I mean, especially like Centennial, you guys know we lost our first game of the season. That was kind of weird to all of us because we're not super familiar with losing. I don't mean to sound cocky in any way, but I actually think that fueled us as a team. We were hungry to get back and not lose again.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that. We'll get to your season. But I want to talk more about this whole culture and tradition, right? Like, how does that get instilled in you?
Yeah, I mean.
Can you remember back? I mean, obviously now you're a big shot now, but when you were just a young Cleveland Storm, like when you were just a youngin', right? Like, how did that get instilled into you? Like, this place is serious.
Yeah, I mean, like in Yaffle, I remember our Yaffle teams, we would go watch the games, and Cleveland would always come out on top. I think a big part of it is the coaching at Cleveland. I mean, they push us hard, and it's hard in the moment, but it ends up helping us. I mean, we end up winning. So. Can you
remember some of the guys? I know coaches, they preach it, right? Protect the tradition, tradition, right?
Definitely.
But I'm sure that's very player driven as well. So can you remember some of the guys when you were first coming in as a freshman and as a sophomore that really made that stick in your mind?
It is too. I mean, you have the big names: Nick Trujillo, Luke Wysong, Dorian Lewis. Who else? I mean, Lucius Dixon. We have big names out there. So yeah, I mean, I go to the games and I'm familiar with all of them. So.
Right. Hey, no disrespect to Trey Watson that you didn't
Oh, Trey
list.
Watson.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Trey.
I mean, we have too
I would have
many.
listed you first, Trey. I always
we
got
have too
you,
many.
Trey.
I couldn't name all
You're
of them.
right.
We
There's
have
so many to
so
list,
many,
right?
So many. Yeah, I think it's all of them.
There's so many to list.
That's right, Evan. All of them.
So, like, that's a big deal, right? When you walk on campus and you got dudes that, one, they did what you want to do. They've already accomplished it. And then they're playing at the next level. That's a big deal for a young man, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's so hard to do, especially out of New Mexico, Like, the guys at La Cueva, they got recruited, congrats to them because it's hard to do down here. It's very hard to do.
It's kind of like, I talked to some Hope basketball kids once, and they were telling me, like, at Hope, you don't want to be in that one class where they didn't win state because it's almost like you're embarrassed when all the alumni are back, right? And now
Yeah.
Hope has gone on a little drought; they haven't won in a little while,
Yeah.
right? But just you go back when they were winning like 6 out of 8 and all
Mm-hmm.
that. You're like, man, yeah. When we come back for the holidays, if we're in that one class that didn't win it, that's embarrassing, right? So that's kind of the standard there. Is it similar at Cleveland?
It is for sure. Yeah, that's definitely a good way to explain it because last year we lost, and I mean I just had a feeling in my gut for so long, like kind of at school, like it was just hard to walk around school, stuff like that. But yeah, so we definitely do have that down there too.
Oh, and you talk about that. I mean, you guys had a nice season. Obviously,
Oh
it,
yeah,
it didn't
definitely.
end
Yeah.
like you wanted it to. But how's that walking around campus and you feel bad about going to the championship? And
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
yeah, that's crazy to think of because we ended up in the state championship, but like I said, we just have expectations to win it, and we came up short, so it's kind of an ill feeling.
all right. So let's go through last year a little bit. Then, I mean, take me through the process of the year. How does it start? What are the expectations for you at the beginning? What are your goals at the beginning?
Yeah, so I was a sophomore last year. That was my first year playing varsity. Centennial game, I was so scared. I was so scared for that first game. But, as the season went further along, I got more comfortable. But, you definitely, like, I look back on it, I had a lot of flaws that year, just youngness. And I still do have a lot
I don't
to
know,
improve
man.
on.
You had a pretty good year that year.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I still have a lot to improve on, but I do appreciate that. But, yeah.
And what's the development like? Well, it's got to be. I mean, what's the development like as a quarterback there, right? I mean, they've had some good ones, obviously, but when you get that job as a sophomore, like it's got to be a lot, right? So what's that? What was that development like early?
Yeah.
All the talk about the extra work you put in. What'd you do?
Well, quarterback, I think it's a super mental position. I mean, like, I don't have to be a ginormous player like a linebacker or anything. But, yeah, it's so mental. I mean, like, you're supposed to lead the offense. You have to know all the plays, what everyone's doing, not just yourself. So, yeah, that was kind of hard for me to do at a young age was lead the whole team. But, it's just something I'm still trying to get better at.
Does it help when everyone around you is really good?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's definitely not on me. I don't mean it to sound like that.
No, not at
Yeah,
all. But
no.
I mean, it's got to help, right? That you have all this
Oh, definitely.
talent.
Yeah, I mean, like this year we had Jacob, who was great. Juan Munoz was amazing.
Right.
Angel, Josh. We had so many playmakers around me.
So, okay, last year now, as you guys head into the playoffs there, kind of, the goals are the same every year at Cleveland. We know that, right?
Yeah.
So what's kind of going through your mind as the regular season? Now, okay, you've had the regular season. That was your first year as a varsity starter. Now we're starting the playoffs. What was going through your mind at that point?
Last year, yeah, I mean, I feel like last year I kind of felt a little comfortable, like, we're just meant to be here. Like, we don't really have to work too much. But, yeah, it's still scary. I feel like we were kind of playing scared to lose last year, not hungry to win.
Right. And then you get back. You're back to the championship. So then, okay, there it is. There's the matchup again, right?
Yeah.
The Bears and La Cueva. That's turned into quite a rivalry. Talk about that.
Definitely, yeah. I would say that might be our biggest rival.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we have Rio Rancho, they're crosstown rivals, but, it's
But
definitely.
you guys always beat them, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little more with La Cueva and even Volcano, too.
Right. And the La Cueva thing is, that's a real rivalry because, and they won't admit it, but I know some of the coaching staffs, they don't really like each other.
Yeah, no,
like
definitely.
I know it's real. It's real there.
is.
There's some
It is for sure.
serious dislike for the two sides. So talk about that rivalry and how intense it is.
Yeah, so actually this year in the state championship on social media, there was definitely some stuff going around like about me and Jacob Maldonado, and we were just laughing about it. We thought it was funny at the time.
All right, tell me more. What was it?
So we have like, I'm not trying to leak them, but there's like these Barstool accounts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
all
like
right.
we have like a Barstool,
Oh, very
Cleveland,
cool.
like
All right.
Barstool,
All right.
Volcano,
Gotcha,
Barstool,
gotcha.
just like posting little mimicky stuff.
All right, what were they saying about you and Jacob
It was
Maldonado?
like, so there's like this clip of Aaron Rodgers, and he's like saying, like he's a bum, but it was like, what does Mason Post think of Jordan Hatch? It's like he's a bum.
Man, this is the good stuff we need to
This
get
is
in
good-
on.
yeah, I mean, this is the exciting stuff.
We're going to talk off the air. I
Yeah,
gotta get
for
in
sure.
on some of this. All right, so you guys are pretty juiced up then because of all that,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was kind of like a funny thing too at the time, but yeah, definitely a little beef between the two teams.
right? And then what's that like on the field? How does that? I mean, yeah, that's all fun and games on social media, but then what between the lines,
Yeah.
it gets pretty real out there too.
Oh yeah, it's a physical game, but
More physical than most, would you say? Those two, when you guys hook up, is that pretty?
yeah, I mean, not even just that. I mean, I think it's just there's a lot of great athletes on the field flying around, but
Right.
We try not to play too emotional because you don't want to get too up with the ups and too down with the downs. So Coach told us before the game too. Like he knew this stuff was going around, but he just told us, stay composed, don't get too into it.
Right. Now, as a quarterback, since you did drop his name, as a quarterback, though, I mean, it's got to be pretty imposing to see Mason Posa on the other side of the field.
Oh yeah, he's a
Like
great
that,
player.
I think that guy might be crazy. Like
he's very good.
I've talked to him, and he's the nicest kid, but on the field, he seems like he's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great football player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a quarterback, I mean, when you see a guy like that, what's going through your mind?
I mean, our coaches, we actually try to just play away from Posa, not to give him too big of an ego, but like we kind of game plan.
Oh, of course, that's normal, right? That's
definitely. So Coach Reinauer too, he put me in a great position. I didn't really have to throw towards him. I mean, we kind of ran the ball away from him. I would check it every play, like if Posa was ever going away.
I do want to get into that game a little bit later, but one more thing about kind of last year. So your whole year is in the rearview mirror. Obviously, you come up one game short that final year. So what's that offseason like? Okay, that was my first year.
Yeah.
What's that offseason like going into your next?
Yeah, I mean, actually, it was kind of hard because we got Reinauer back, as an offensive coordinator, and our whole offense changed, like every little thing. So, I mean, a lot of it was just memorizing it. We worked so hard, like, so proud of my team. We worked so hard in the offseason trying to learn it all. And,
How different was that? I mean, Coach plays the position. Obviously, he played that. He played your position and everything. And so, how – and obviously you guys know what Coach Reinauer meant to that program and that school. So was that kind of a shot in the arm heading into the season, like getting him back on that staff?
Oh, yeah. I definitely think it helped us a lot. I mean, me and Coach Reinauer, we do have a special connection. I do think that, like, we kind of just clicked when he came in. But, yeah, he did help our offense immensely.
Right. Yeah. All right, I do want to get into this season, so we'll take a break. When we get back with Jordan, we'll talk about the early parts of the season all the way through to the championship when we come back.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Back with state champ Jordan Hatch of the Cleveland Storm. Before we get into this season, you've seen the show, right?
I have, yes, sir.
All right, we do a little top 5 list, top 5 things we don't know about you. Kind of gets us away from the game a little bit and just gives us a chance to explore other topics. So, top 5 things we don't know about Jordan Hatch, number 5.
Yeah, so number 5?
Yep.
The most interesting thing is that I know sign language. What should I say?
Okay.
Like, my name is Jordan, or Jordan.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you pretty good at sign
Yeah,
language?
actually, I'm not great. I can't say I'm good, but my sister is actually deaf, so that is why I know.
Okay.
My little sister, yeah.
All right. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 4.
I am Hawaiian heritage, so my grandparents on my mother's side, they're both straight from Oahu.
Okay. So yeah, I noticed the middle name on Twitter, right?
Keiko, yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, do you ever get back to the island or?
We do go back a lot. We have so much family down there. Like, I can't even keep track. Like, just taking cousins and everything. But we do try to go back when we can.
Hawaiian food's so good.
It's
right?
great.
Like, what's
It's
your
great.
favorite? What's your go-to?
I'd have to say they have a lot of food trucks in Hawaii, but I'd have to say Kalbi. Kalbi on Fire
Kalbi's the
specifically
best.
is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my parents just got back from Hawaii, and I
Really?
was really pissed off when they this year did not bring me back the chocolate-covered macadamia nuts. Like,
Those are
I
good.
thought that's
Those
a must,
are really good.
right? Like, when you go to Hawaii, you just naturally bring friends and relatives a box of those,
Yeah,
right?
those are good. Actually, those aren't one of my favorite things ever. I like them, but I actually don't like macadamia nuts that
Okay.
much.
Is there a spot here in New Mexico to get some really good Colby beef, Colby chicken, Colby anything? Do you know one?
I'd have to ask my grandparents. They do cook it for us sometimes on New Year's and stuff.
Oh,
I'd have to ask them.
That's fire right there. That's fire.
that's great.
All right, number 3. Top things we don't know about Jordan Hatch. What's number 3?
I really like to fish.
All right.
Fishing, yeah.
Where do you get out to, like, real fishing or Tingley Beach?
No, like, I mean that too. Me and my friends.
That's not real fishing.
No,
Where
I
do
mean,
you go?
catch fish. We'll go to, like, the San Juan River sometimes,
Okay,
me and my
all right.
dad.
And you use that as a time to kind of unwind, get away. What drew you to that?
Yeah, super relaxing. I sometimes go with my friends for fun too. Like, we'll just go to anywhere and everywhere. But yeah, it's definitely super relaxing for me. I think it's fun.
Okay, all right. Fisherman. Number 2, things we don't know about Jordan Hatch.
I love to golf.
Golf. Okay. All right. Now you're in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Are you good?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
What does that mean? All right. What do you shoot?
I'm definitely better than all my friends. I'll say that. But
Okay.
I think the best score I've ever shot is in 87 or 86.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
No, you know, I don't know if you know this, but Coach Ridenauer is a very good golfer.
I've heard. I mean, I can't tell if he's lying to me or not.
No, I can tell you.
Yeah.
I've golfed with Coach Ridenauer and Coach Jimenez.
Yeah.
And Coach Cole.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, Coach Ridenauer is a pretty good golfer.
good.
Now, the old man, Coach Kilmer,
Kilmer.
I heard he can just putt. He's an amazing.
Put it off the green, yeah.
So yeah, when they do their little scramble teams, they get Coach Ridenauer and then usually the principal, but Coach Kilmer's always on the team because I hear he can just make any putt.
Yeah, I mean, and we do like the Cleveland golf tournament, and they come up with crazy scores. I still don't think that's the scores they shoot.
No, they
but,
shoot some scores,
I
man.
mean, maybe,
I've seen it.
Maybe, but
I've seen
it's
it.
hard to believe.
I've seen it. You'll have to ask Coach Ridenauer.
I'll talk to him. But yeah, I got to go golfing with Coach right now. If you're hearing this, Coach, let's go golf.
One time we were actually on the team ahead of them. And I don't know how, but we got some Rio Rancho golf balls. I think from Coach Black, the golf coach at Rio Rancho.
Yeah.
So we had some Rio Rancho golf balls. So we would leave Rio Rancho Ram logo golf balls on the tee for Coach Ridenauer,
Really?
like in several
Really?
holes. And he would, instead of using them because they were Pro V1s, he would just
funny.
hit them into the ditch.
That's funny. That's so funny.
All right. So, all right, number one thing we don't know about Jordan Hatch.
Oh, I wasn't going in order, but another thing is I love seafood a lot. Especially my grandparents. They make the best food ever.
Okay. What are some of your go-tos seafood wise?
My grandma makes great poke.
Okay.
Just raw tuna. Crab, obviously, lobster, fish.
What's a go-to poke spot or seafood restaurant in New Mexico?
I can't tell you one in New Mexico, actually.
See, that's how we got to work on your NIL.
Yeah.
See, if you name one there, they watch the show on
Yeah,
accident.
you're right. You are right.
Then they call probably me,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, well, who's that guy that talked about this place?
You should have
That's how
told me
you-
that before.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
You could have a pokey NIL deal your senior year in high school.
Yeah, maybe my grandma will give me a couple bucks for shouting her out or something.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. Right? All right, let's get back to this magical season this year. You talked about it a little bit. You touched on it, but you guys opened up the season with a loss. Now, I mean, it's nothing to hang your hat over because Centennial obviously is a really, really good football
Great
team.
yeah.
But like we mentioned, it is always newsworthy when Cleveland loses, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like week one after that game?
For sure. I mean, it was tough just on the team. We try not to get too down, like our morale. But, that happened in, what year was it? 2022, I think.
Right.
Or 2021. but we lost the first game to Centennial, and then we ended up winning the rest out and winning the state championship.
What did Coach Garza and the team kind of? What did you guys talk about?
That
after
is
that
actually
game?
partially what he talked about, is that it has happened before, and like not to focus too much on it. You know, the next week's more important, so just keep going.
And now, for you, would you rather have that setback at the very beginning or at some other point? To me, it seemed like, all right, well, we lost one, now let's go win. Is
Yeah.
it better to have that setback early, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think our turning point was week 2, which is crazy. Like, that was a big improvement, was when we played Los Angeles. It was a good football team. We made them look not good at all. Like,
Yeah, that's a kind way of putting it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys boat raced them for sure. So now you go and you just start killing teams. So
Yeah.
you come off this loss, and now you're just blowing teams out 2 weeks in a row. What changed?
I mean, I had to give it all to our defense because we had our banquet the other night, and Coach said this crazy stat. I can't tell you exactly how many points it was, but they set the record for the least points allowed in Cleveland history. So,
Right.
I mean, if the teams can't score, you definitely have a higher chance to win.
And they've had some really good defenses.
Really good
there,
defenses.
right?
Yeah.
Like that was one of my kind of when people were asking me at the beginning of the season. Obviously, yeah, okay, yeah, I think it's going to be LaQueva in Cleveland again. But one of my questions at the beginning of the season was, okay, well, Strat and Madrano were pretty special. How do you replace that? Right? I did not think the defense would be even better this year. I mean, it's always good, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't think it would be even better. So you just the defense just clicked there, right?
Yeah, we lost 8 starters, I think it was,
Yeah.
on defense, which is crazy. But, I mean, we tend to reload every year, and I think we'll do it again this next year. We have still great players on defense, Eliza Richards, Troy, Logan,
Right.
Connor Steele, great players, Powell, Hostler.
What about your side of the ball? What do you think clicked after that week 1?
Yeah, I just don't think we were playing as a full team. I think Coach challenged our O-line after that game to just, be more aggressive. They were in the right spot the whole game, but he just said, they weren't being as aggressive as they know he could be because
Right.
they hold him to a high standard. And after that, I mean, no one stood a chance because we ride behind the big boys for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the only thing that even closely resembles a close game is probably that week 4 game against Las Cruces. That's another really, really good team.
Really good team.
But you still handle that one pretty easily. You win by 10. So,
Yeah.
I mean, talk about that. I mean, so you get 2 games in a row where you guys get right, and
Yeah.
you just murder teams 2 weeks in a row, and then now you have another top 4 opponent in Las
Yeah.
Cruces. So what was the week like getting ready for the Bulldogs?
That was actually a very intense game. I mean, it was a very close game. We won by 10, but it was not a 10-point game, if you know what I mean. I mean, I think we were down 7 at one point, and they were driving the ball, and then John kind of got a pick in the middle of the field, and he brought it back to like the 5-yard line, and then after that, we kind of pulled away. But it was a very close game, very close.
And then, then you guys just roll after that. Just first of all, the district was not as good as it's been in years past. Maybe, I don't know. Seems like Rio Rancho was down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
Obviously, some of those other teams. So it's you and Volcano always, right? Kind of looking at each other, but we know the history there. It's
Yeah.
pretty lopsided to you guys, right?
a little bit.
So, I mean, you're just rolling through the rest of the season. So just talk about that rest of the regular season. 1, how did you guys do that? How did you guys stay sharp? How did you guys stay motivated, knowing that you're just going out and just beating the hell out of teams every week?
Yeah, after Cruces, we played Pebble Hills in Texas, and I think that might have been our best game as a team. I mean, we put it on them, and a very good Texas team. And then after that, we just got rolling. We got into district play. We 50-0'd Farmington, I think it was, and then, no one really got close to us in district. So, yeah, and then playoffs came around. We played.
Yeah, you get Los Lunas again, so that, I mean, obviously, you guys had to be feeling pretty good about that, knowing what you had done to that team.
Yeah, I mean,
previously.
we had saw them give LaQueva a very good game. So, and it's hard to beat the same team twice. That's a hard thing to do in the same season, is beat the same team twice.
Yeah, what'd you think of that LaQueva game? That was a little interesting. That was different.
LaQueva Las Lunas?
Yeah.
I actually wasn't watching it. I was watching Farmington Volcano, but I was looking at updates and I would see,
You saw the score,
yeah,
obviously, so that had to draw your eyebrows up a little,
definitely
right?
interesting, yeah.
And then you get the rematch against Centennial. So tell me about that week.
I take that back. Actually, that was our best week as a team with Centennial. I take that back. I mean, we kind of looked up and then somehow we were at 40 points and the clock was running. So yeah, it was great game for our team.
Yeah, and then how nice was it to play that Friday? You guys know, okay, we're in. Our ticket is punched.
Yeah.
We handled Centennial pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Now those other guys, whoever we play, they get one less day. You know, you guys are just cool. All right, you took care of business. You're back home, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice. We didn't have anything over the weekend, so we kind of just got to relax and rehab, get ready for the week. That's actually one crazy thing is that we didn't really have any severe injuries all year, which is very, I mean,
rare, right, in
yeah,
football?
knock on wood, but yeah, it's crazy for a football team.
All right, I'm assuming maybe you watched the La Cueva game a little bit, the La Cueva Las Cruces game.
I did watch that, yeah.
Okay, so what's going through your mind during that game? I mean, did you kind of think it would be you and La Cueva again?
I thought Las Cruces was a very good team. I thought it was going to be really close, actually. I think Las Cruces kind of shot themselves in the foot with the turnovers in the beginning of the game. But, yeah, I mean, La Cueva ended up pulling away.
And then, well, you know, obviously Cam gets hurt that game. So what were your thoughts when you saw that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of told you about that. That didn't really affect me because, I mean, I don't play defense.
Right.
But, you know, I'm glad he's healthier now. Hopefully he's healthy. I don't know exactly, but I'm glad he's not, like, in severe state.
Right. And so what's the prep week for championship week? Take me through that.
Yeah, a lot of it is enjoyment, actually. I mean, it's Thanksgiving week, so we only have school Monday, Tuesday. We bring the alumni back for Thanksgiving. We have practice. You know, it's actually a very fun thing.
That's turned into a nice tradition there, right? I mean,
very fun for sure.
You guys are practicing all the time on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was definitely our best practice of the year was Thanksgiving Day.
How many alums make it back for that practice?
15.
Wow,
20,
okay.
yeah.
Any of them, like, still get out? It's like, throw me a pattern or something? Any of them?
It's actually last year, a lot of alumni from last year came, like Ben, Chuka, Harris, Mallow, Carter.
All right, take us to the game then. Obviously, this is the two teams everyone wanted to see. This is the two teams everyone thought they would see. Take us through pregame locker room. What's in Jordan Hatch's mind before the game?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely feel the nerves throughout our whole team. Kind of just, you know, it's a big stage. A lot of fans.
Yeah, but you seem like just the chillest dude. Like now that I've talked to you for 20 minutes, I'm like, do you even have a pulse? Like, are you really like worried before the game?
Yeah,
What's going through your mind?
I try not to get hyped up at all before games.
Yeah, because you seem just chill.
I don't listen to like crazy music. I try to stay super calm. But, you know, that's kind of what I have to be as a quarterback.
Right.
Because everyone else is jittery and crazy. So I got kind of be the calmness of the storm.
The calmness of the storm?
Yeah.
I like that. That
wasn't
you
intended.
You should find a way to market that.
Market that, yeah.
Yeah.
On a shirt.
You're the calmness of the storm. All right. That huge crowd, obviously. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that was so fun, actually, was hearing all the crowd, because that was definitely the most fans we've ever had at a game that year. Who was there? There was a lot of people there, actually. And, yeah, I mean, when we would score, I could hear the stands go crazy, which isn't something that happens a lot in high school football in New Mexico.
And then did you feel locked in? Because you sure looked locked in.
Yeah, I definitely locked in. I mean, ever since probably the start of the week, I was trying to lock in for the game because, you know, we didn't want to lose again.
Yeah, and, you know, I keep up with you on social, so I always see kind of the stats every week. But I kind of thought, like, okay, La Cueva's a very good team. This is not a team you can just beat by just running in.
Yeah, definitely.
Jordan's going to get a chance to make some plays out here today for sure, and you made them, right? So I think the biggest difference in the game, I mean, your receivers just didn't drop anything.
No, they caught everything.
I mean, and they took some shots.
Some shots, for sure.
So talk about that, man. And
yeah, La Cueva has a very good defense. That was by far the best defense we had played all year. I mean, just all the way around, great linebacker core. But, I mean, like I told you before, our coach put us in a position to be successful on offense, and, you know, he put me in a position to know where to put the ball, not put it in danger. And actually, this is coming away from the game, but our team actually only had 4 turnovers all year.
Right.
So when you don't turn the ball over, you have a great chance to win.
Well, I guess there's only one thing to do, and that's repeat, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Reload every year.
Good luck, man.
Thank you. I
Hopefully
appreciate
we'll
it.
see you again next year.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for watching, everybody, and good night.